Hello everybody, Slim Kirby here. Welcome back to another issue of Slim Talks. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's very topical and recent. I'm going to be talking about the whole React World saga that has been going on over the past week. I kind of reached a mini conclusion yesterday, I believe. But I'm going to go over kind of everything, just kind of give it in very basic synopsis of the whole thing that went down. For those who don't know, the Fine Bros, it's a YouTube channel that has been making a lot of videos like Kids React, Teens React, Elders React, YouTubers React. Basically just a bunch of React videos where they show like videos, popular music, memes, viral videos, stuff of that nature, and they show it to different demographics, and they make content over it. They show the kids or the adults or the elders reacting to what's going on, and afterwards they kind of talk about it. They kind of tell their audience like what the video is and like give some stats about it, things like that. A lot of those videos have been popular for a very long time, going back to kind of the early stages of the internet, where things of this nature first started showing up, where you saw stuff like the dramatic chipmunk, the sneezing panda, and then you just like show videos of people reacting to it, and they'd usually laugh, they'd smile. And even in recent months, there's stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's and a lot of other horror-themed games where you see reactions to, things in the horror field, and then like there's usually a funny reaction that goes with those. So yeah, React videos have been around for a long time, but the Fine Brothers, they've kind of made a bit of a monopoly with these videos. They had over 14 million subscribers. And they had a very big channel. They had a lot of content, and you see a lot of their videos in related videos and YouTube searches. So, they were definitely pretty much on top of the totem pole as far as making a channel that's dedicated to just that kind of stuff. And they have a bunch of other series too. But recently, they actually brought out some news, and this is where the whole React World saga has began. So they made a video where they were talking about this React World thing, which was basically a program they were starting where YouTubers could sign up with their little network that they had created, and the Fine Brothers Entertainment would give them like different tools, branding, things from their videos to use in making videos of that nature for their channels. So, if you were someone who wanted to make videos like that, you'd be part of this network, they'd help you, so to speak, and then you could make your own videos under their licensing and their kind of content. However, the problem with this is, in order to do that, they had to actually get the trademark for Kids React, Teens React, Adults React, YouTubers React, basically all those React series that they have on their channels. And because of that, they made it so, for example, if someone were to make a video where it's like, okay, kids are reacting to this new toy that came out, the Fine Brothers could actually go to that video, they could flag it, say it's their type of content, it's their intellectual property, so they can't make videos like that, and they could have the video taken down, they could monetize that video, basically directly take it out of competition, forcing that person to have to go through React World to actually make those videos. Now, here's the problem with that. First of all, it's a terrible thing to do. It's you should never be in a position where you can just eliminate content like that, unless they are directly ripping you off, like content for content, word for word. And, just getting rid of the competition straightforward. No one can beat us. We have this system. We're popular. They can't do anything to us. But they are making it so basically anyone who joined React World, they would get a cut of the profits. So they could get 30%, I think it was up to 50%. And what's really wrong about that is, yeah, they are helping you, but most multi-channel networks like Machinima, networks like Polaris and Maker Studios, partners like Fullscreen and Broadband and a lot of other networks out there, they only take about 10%. And, Fine Brothers are asking for 30 to 50, and that's just way, way too much, considering that they really just allow you to use the branding and the names. They don't actually help you. They can't really help you. they can't control what becomes popular and what becomes viral. The YouTube public takes care of that. Things become viral just honestly by pure luck in some cases. So they couldn't really deliver on what they were promising. So basically, you get their brand name, you can use their brand, whatever. You make a video, and maybe it doesn't do very well. It gets more views than you think it would, but it doesn't do extremely well. And because of that, you don't get a lot of money for it, but the Fine Bros will also get a cut of that video as well. And if they work with a whole bunch of different channels, that will really, really start to add up. And they're not really a channel that needs any extra monetary compensation. Like I said, they have 14 million subscribers. They're well-to-do. Even if they lose a whole bunch of subscribers, even if they lose like 5 million subscribers, and they're still losing subscribers as we speak, mind you, even if they lose 5 million, they'll still be probably one of the more popular channels on YouTube. So they don't really have any place to deserve or claim any of that compensation. They really, really don't. And even if there's like very small videos, even if videos don't do extremely well, and there might be a few videos that do go viral, for example, the Fine Bros will be making a lot of money for content that's not even theirs. And that's honestly what's really, really screwy about the whole thing. And naturally, a lot of people on YouTube were very, very upset about that. They were very upset. A lot of hateful comments, a lot of negative reaction videos, a lot of memes were made at their expense. They had a reaction that honestly they deserved. The terminology they used, the actions they took. I understand the intentions they were trying to put out there, but they just did a horrible, horrible job of doing that. And because of that, they lost a lot of favor. They even tried to make a secondary video, where they kind of explained things a little more, but that video didn't help. If anything, it kind of continued showing the same fears that were shown before. And, that's when the subscriber counts started dropping for the Fine Bros. They were at I want to say 14,200,000. Now they're 13,700,000, which is still a lot. They haven't lost barely anything, but there are a lot of people who are just extremely, extremely outraged at this, and they have every reason to be. And this whole copyright stuff, they were taking advantage of that. They were even taking advantage of that before the whole React World thing went down. They were trying to put claims and content IDs on videos way before React World even became public. This is something that they've been notorious for years now. So they already had a very, very bad history with this, and this just kind of just confirmed everything. It's okay, yeah, these guys, they're definitely not doing a good thing here, because you really can't limit competition like that, because there is a thing called fair use, and this means that things used in parody are fine, and those type of videos, you can't claim those. You can't copyright a concept, especially one that's been such public domain over so many years. It just can't work like that. If you do that, you're going to be looked at as a bad guy. You're going to lose a lot of support, and it's just not going to be a very good journey for you. And it wasn't. There were so many streams of people watching the subscriber counts of the Fine Bros just dropping, and people were really kind of coming together and being no, we do not want this. We don't want to see this channel in power, because they're treating this like mob mentality. They're creating a racketeering company. If anything, it's let's get all these channels together to do all this work for us, so we don't have to do as much work, or we can just really clean up on the entire market, and then we can afford even more trademark branding and all this other stuff that just completely shuts down what should be a website that's been made for public domain stuff. YouTube, broadcast yourself, which means you broadcast yourself in a way that fits the kind of content you want to upload to YouTube. There are rules. There are very, very understandable copyright content rules that you must abide by. And Those rules are very basic. You can't just like make a video. It's like, oh, let's just have this song playing so people can come to my video to listen to this song. You can't do that. You can't obviously do that. And there's a lot of other things. You can't put full TV shows on YouTube. You can't put full movies on YouTube. But that's because you do not own that content. You don't own that. You have no rights to it. You have no right to distribute it, especially as a free source of exposure for that piece of content. So yeah, there are those rules, but for the most part, aside from those very basic copyright rules, YouTube is pretty much fair game for anybody. And what the Fine Bros were doing is they were basically trying to hold a monopoly on one specific type of content, and that just does not work. It didn't work, it won't work, and they paid the price for that. They lost so many subscribers. In fact, yesterday they actually put out a message to everybody saying that, okay, we understand this was a very bad thing to do. We can't do this anymore. We're discontinuing React World. We're not doing it anymore. We're also going to go back through old videos that we've content ID'd or copyright claimed. We're going to remove all of those. If we didn't remove yours, please contact us so we can get it removed immediately. And we're releasing the trademark and the brand for our series of videos because obviously we can't do that. And as far as I'm concerned, like, that's good enough for me. My only hope is I hope they make do on that promise, because after this, they are going to be under a microscope. They're going to be under so much scrutiny for years now. This is going to follow them for a very, very long time. So they have to really, really make do on this promise. If they mess up, they try anything, they're going to go down in flames even more. And that's kind of the way it should be. And I honestly like the way that this has come out, because they realized that they messed up. And they did mess up. They messed up in a huge way. I don't care what their intent was. I don't care what the idea was supposed to look like on paper. It was just not a good idea, and I'm glad they are getting what they deserve for this. They deserve to lose subscribers. And honestly, they're not really losing that much. They're not losing much at all. They're definitely losing a lot of viewers, but they still have over 15, or not 15, where'd I get that number? They still have over 13 million subscribers at this point, and that's a lot of freaking subscribers. I don't even have 100,000 yet. There are many channels who don't even have 1 million yet, and they have 13 million. Like, this is such a small downsize for them. But if they screw up, it's going to be an even bigger one. Even fans who are like, okay, you know what? You didn't do anything to affect us, but we still like your content. We still like what you put out. We're going to give you another chance. Not only are you're going to lose people who are just going to be mad about that, you're going to lose even more people who had a higher trust in you. And I hope that's something they remember. They need to remember that they can't make any mistakes like this ever again. And I hope this is also kind of an eye-opener for a lot of other companies and a lot of other channels out there who have been trying the same kind of thing, where they're basically trying to go around and bully other YouTubers or smaller YouTubers because, oh, well, I can do that. I'm a bigger channel than they are, so this is going to be easy for me to take down. Because honestly, I know there are channels out there. There have to be. There's always going to be people like that. So I really hope this incident is not just an eye-opener for the Fine Bros, but also an eye-opener for any other channels with this kind of mentality. And it could be a really good thing. It could really start to level out the competition in the YouTube world. Not saying it will, it can, but, it's still going to be really hard to make it on YouTube, especially these days when things are such oversaturated on the channel and the database as it is. So, it's still going to be really hard, especially for new people starting out. It's going to seem almost impossible, but this has shown us that someone on top or someone near the top can definitely fall very, very easily. And I think people should definitely take that into consideration, because when you're such a high figure in the public, and when I say high, I don't necessarily mean in terms of popularity, but just like, having a lot of content, having a lot of videos, having a lot of subscribers, views, and that kind of thing. Like, you aren't treated like a god, but you're still pretty high up. Like, you are getting a lot of traffic, you are getting a lot of exposure. But yes, people at the top can fall, and they can fall very easily. And another thing I really do like about this is I kind of like how the YouTube community kind of got together. Recently, I've actually been very, very kind of down about, people and just the human race in general. But I actually really liked how this went down. Maybe there were people who were more harsh than they should have been. They should have been more logical instead of just saying stuff like, yeah, the Fine Brothers suck. They suck. They're stupid. They should have 0 subscribers, or like any of those people. I'm not condoning that kind of attitude, but just the fact that there were a lot of people out there who did make videos kind of like protesting against this, saying that, this is not right. We cannot live under this system anymore. People like Alpha Omega Sin, he made a huge, huge rant, very vulgar, a lot of curse words used, but he made a lot of very, very good points. Like, he was being very, very real about the whole thing. And, like, even though I don't necessarily appreciate that kind of content, I have a lot of respect for what he did, that he was able to speak out against that and, kind of get other YouTubers on board as well, saying that, this is not right. This is not good. This is something we need to speak out against. And I really did like that. I really like that. It gave me a lot more faith in the human race. I still have my concerns, obviously, but, like, I did really, really appreciate seeing that kind of mentality from the YouTube public, kind of protesting against what's a very, very evil and scary corporate machine. Because remember, this is YouTube. This is broadcast yourself. You should be able to broadcast yourself. And you should not be held back no matter what. That's what I've always believed in YouTube. And that's the way that I think YouTube should always be. And if people continue to keep that outlook and that mindset, I think YouTube's going to be a big thing for a very long time. And that's something that's very, very special to me. So that's all I wanted to say about the whole thing. I'm going to leave it at that. I know there's been a lot of videos like this already in the mainstream. So, me adding this video to the pile might not necessarily be the biggest thing to do, but it is something I wanted to speak up and say something about. I tried to talk about this on my streams. I tried to talk about this on Twitter, but it just didn't really work out in that fashion. So I kind of felt like, okay, maybe I'll just do a Slim Talks session on this and just kind of give out my general thoughts. And, for those who are not really sure about the whole thing, because there's still a lot of people asking me, like, what was the whole Fine Brothers thing? I decided to just make a video, kind of give my thoughts on it, explain the whole thing, and kind of talk about how evil it could be. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you guys for listening. I will talk to you guys later. And have a good day / night / morning / if you're stuck in a random dimensional vortex and time itself is kind of a backwards form of being. Bye.